All right. Let me see. Let me delete that. Okay. I just decided to go live because I have not been able to do a lot of videos lately. So, with that being said, I do want to do something live on the channel every day. And when I'm not able to I don't mean live. I mean, I do want to do something on the channel every day. So when I'm not able to actually create an actual video, I'll just go live from now on because it's just getting harder and harder for me um, to create videos when I have busy days like the one that I had today. Also, my camera might shake a little bit. My cat is playing with my stand, so I truly apologize for that. Y'all know how these cats be, they get in crazy mode. And so my little kitten is in crazy mode. I had a very, very rough, hard, long day. We finna get to this commentary right quick, y'all. Dwight Eubanks. I know y'all know who Dwight is from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's where I last seen him at. Let me pull that up for you guys. Dwight Eubanks. Child, Dwight Eubanks that found out that he has prostate cancer. Y'all know who Dwight is? Hey, Dwight boy. Okay. Dwight found out that he has prostate cancer. Okay. And let me tell y'all something. There is a whole influx. And I mean a whole influx. There's a whole increase in the amount of prostate cancer cases that I'm seeing. This is crazy. Like what's going on in our food, in our water, you know what I'm saying, in our systems, what's going on with our vitamins and everything else that we are experiencing this influx in our these men with this prostate cancer. So we know Joe Biden had announced that he had prostate cancer, which let me tell y'all, if he would have won that presidency, baby, we would be looking weak as hell. Okay? Because what another country is going to do is going to thrive off of whatever weaknesses they can find with our leader. And had he won that election and Joe Biden had been the president right now, we'd have been switching over to Kamala anyway. Because at the end of the day, he would not have been able to do this job in his condition. These other countries would have been looking at us like we was the weakest thing going. Hey, Keith, and hey, Mary. Yeah, these other countries would have been looking at us like we was the weakest thing going. Baby, it would have been a big problem. They would have been like, oh, America's weak right now. Let's get in there and get they butts. I don't think, however, we was ready for a female president. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we was ready for that because women are emotional and we need these other countries to look at us, like we strong. You know what I'm saying? Like we're very strong. And so I don't think even I was ready for a female president because we have to answer to other men in other countries as the leaders. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Joe Biden and God bless him in his journey. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, no, no, no. Come out of there. Sorry, y'all. My cat is being a psycho for real. Okay. So with that being said, shout out to Joe Biden, like I was saying, and his prostate cancer process. But yeah, honey, Dwight Eubanks that graced us on the Real Housewives of Atlanta has announced that he has prostate cancer. Thank you, David. He has prostate cancer, and unfortunately, he was saying that his doctors could have caught it, except for the simple fact that they were so worried about him having AIDS. Ooh, baby, let me tell you something, okay? Prostate cancer is in the rear of you, okay? Where is prostate cancer located? Prostate, prostate cancer is located in the prostate gland, which is part of the male reproductive system. The prostate gland is situated below the bladder and in front of the rectum. That is your rectum. Y'all know what a rectum is. If you don't know, go look it up, okay? Let me tell y'all something. Dwight Howard did not stop being sexually active, okay? Here's the thing. They have medications for people that have HIV AIDS. So they can still be sexually active, like PrEP and all these other medications that they have for these people, right? Who are suffering from this ailment. So Dwight is like, he's still out there doing his thing. There's rumors around Atlanta that he pays for it. Whatever the case, whatever, it doesn't matter. Who knew, okay, that you were still being sexually active when you had prostate cancer? Aside from the AIDS, because of course, like I said, that can always be, you can always use medication or protection. But then you have prostate cancer. What you don't want to do is be being sexually active when you have a whole prostate issue. That was probably painful. Like that was probably really, really not something that was pleasurable. I just could imagine. But anyway, that's just a quick little fun fact, little educational little piece right there. So it happened because Dwight Eubanks said, and shout out to him for doing Phaedra Parks's her what's that called, her baby shower. Okay, did her baby shower, and I was entertained by it. I know the girls were entertained by it. Okay, I know for a fact I thought he did a real good job with that. So Dwight Howard says that he's upset with his doctors. He's very upset with the doctors in Atlanta. Listen, them doctors in Atlanta, I have to say, while I was there, they took care of me. However, there are a lot of people that pass away at Grady, and that concerns me because the amount of lives they're saving is not that many. Okay, there are not too many people who go to Grady and then those doctors are able to save their lives. I don't know why. It just seems like every time somebody goes to Grady and they're having an issue, they pass away. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay, I'm not saying that they're not or they are doing something. I'm just saying that I've seen a lot because I lived out there for 3 years. I've seen a lot of people go to Grady and not come out of there, and I think it's weird. And I'm talking about from women that are pregnant, that have babies, and they thought they were going to make it out with their child, and they didn't. Type of stuff. Like, no, okay. But Dwight Eubanks is calling out the doctors in Atlanta. He says that he was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, and get this, they could have caught his prostate cancer in 2022, but he said they were so worried about his AIDS diagnosis and him being undetectable that they missed his prostate cancer diagnosis. Now, that's just weird to me. Okay? That is just weird because what you're not going to do is not look at my entire body just because you're worried about AIDS, but that's the reason why I think they should have specialists like off to the side for those type of ailments. The same way that if you had scoliosis, you would go see an optometrist. You know what I'm saying? If you had bone issues, you would go see the bone doctor. If you had ear issues, you would go to an ENT. They should have separate specialists for those type of situations, and then you should also have your primary care doctor for the regular stuff or whatever detection needs to be detected. That's the issue, is that a lot of these doctors are overwhelmed. Okay, a lot of these people are overwhelmed. So anyway, Dwight Eubanks is 64 years old. Y'all know he's a hairstylist out of Atlanta. He was diagnosed after he went to a fair at his church, honey. Okay, he went to a fair and he ended up getting some blood work done. This was a health fair. This was off in January. The doctors later told him to come in. Now, these are not even his primary doctors. These are the doctors from the health fair that told him to come in. And then they followed up and confirmed that he had prostate cancer. He said that he hadn't even had any symptoms. He was good. He was fine. But I'm just thinking, like, how could you have cancer and not have any symptoms? It's something that he was missing, or maybe he thought that it was because of his AIDS ailment or something like that. But you're going to have symptoms if you have cancer, and he's had cancer since 2022, which is crazy. He said that the doctors looked at his record, his PSA levels back in 2022, and saw that his PSA was high, but nobody told him. They just said you're undetectable, so you're fine. And they never mentioned anything about his prostate to him. Thank y'all for liking as you come in the room. I really appreciate it. Getting me into the algorithm with this channel. I appreciate it. Dwight said that he has to laugh instead of crying about this whole journey. But here's what I want to know. This is a crazy question that I'm about to ask. Just crazy off the rip. Okay. I'm gonna ask Google. I'm gonna ask Google. Is a man more prone to catching prostate cancer if he has anal intercourse? No. Anal intercourse does not increase the risk of developing prostate cancer. While some studies have suggested a possible link between sex and a slightly higher risk of prostate cancer, these findings have been inconsistent. And the National Institute of Health has not found any definitive correlation according to the study by the National Institution of Health. Okay, so it just says additionally, prostate cancer is more common in men who are 65 and older. And Dwight Eubanks is 64 years old. So that makes good sense. I mean, I just wanted to know, I was wondering myself, like, does that have anything to do with him having this prostate cancer? Because then I would have to look at Joe Biden sideways. But now that we know that it does not, hey, here we are. Okay, here we are. But shout out to him, and that's real sad to me. I mean, the situation is real sad. I'm waiting for Phaedra Parks to say something. As a matter of fact, let me look over there and see if she said anything, because y'all know he's good friends with Phaedra, good old Parks, Esquire. Okay, and I'm looking for her to post like a picture of them together and say her little stuff. No, she actually has not posted since 6 days ago. Phaedra ain't posted nothing. Okay. All right. Well, 4 days ago. Hold on. Oh, she posted yesterday, but she didn't post nothing about that. Okay, my bad. She had some stuff at the top that I didn't see. So she posted with her and Cynthia. That makes me wonder if her and Dwight are even friends anymore. I don't know what's going on with that. But and if I was him, I would have told every blog site, take my personal business off your blog site. Don't nobody need to know nothing about my diagnosis. Okay. Let me see. So we don't know when exactly he found out, but we do know that he has it, in that his PSA levels were high in 2022. Ooh, he is getting so old. When I look at him, I'm like, ooh, baby, you getting old, old, okay? But he out here eating good. I wonder, does food quality have anything to do with prostate cancer? Yes. Food quality can influence prostate cancer risk and progression. A diet in high fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and low in processed food, animal products, and saturated fats can help reduce the risk of developing prostate cancer and its slow progression. Specifically, plant-based diets like the Mediterranean diet have been linked to a lower risk of cancer progression. Now, maybe that's it. Because as I look at his profile, as I go on Instagram and I just look at Dwight's profile, I'm seeing bread and this is really good. That's healthy. I'm seeing ribs and all kinds of, he's definitely eating good. Like, the man ain't missing nobody's meal. You know what I'm saying? He's eating real healthy, real good. So, and y'all can see what type of time he on with his food and all that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it may be with, maybe him and Joe Biden was eating too good, honey, and whatever ailments they had just kind of sped up because of that. So who knows? Anyway, so let me move on really quickly because I wanted to come live and do this video. Is Remy Ma's boyfriend, is he cute? Is Remy Ma's boyfriend cute? I feel like Easy looks cute in some scenarios, and in some scenarios he's not cute. Like, I feel like he's cute sometimes, and then sometimes he's not cute. Would you date? Do we look good together? Do me and Easy look good together, y'all? Get her out the picture. Okay, because I don't know. That's how I gotta weigh it. I gotta say, like, do I look good with Easy? Because I don't know. I think Remy Ma is a decent looking woman. I don't know about Easy. Like, look how his hat is too big on his head. Look at it. His hat too big on his head. He got all this space over here between his hat and his head. Is she pushing his hat to the side? Like, what's happening in this picture? I'm just so, like, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like he's cute. The gap throws me off. He might be cute till he open his mouth. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know about this. Anyway. All right, let's get to 50 Cent, y'all. 50 Cent, I cannot with this man. 50 Cent, he actually, this damn 50 Cent. 50 Cent actually copywrote my book club channel before. I do have proof of that. I can show you that. Okay, had a whole copyright against my book club channel, which was crazy. But yeah, he is who he is. It's par for the course with 50 Cent, right? So 50 Cent is trying to basically ensure that Diddy does not get out of jail, and that he goes to prison, and that he doesn't get a pardon. Now, he's doing a good job. Let me just tell y'all this right now. 50 Cent is doing a good damn job of making sure, okay, that Diddy is not going to get out. Because one thing about Donald Trump, okay, is that once you talk about him, all bets are off. Your ass is grass. Once you talk about Trump, you're done. Okay, are you done? Okay, now you're done. That's how it is. Trump is like he taking it personal. He taking everything personal. You are not getting ready to talk no smack, no kind of ill shit about good old Trumpington, and think that you are going to walk away with the win after that. Like, he gonna get in that ass. One thing about Trump, and that's one thing that I like about Trump, is that he is no nonsense, low tolerance for the bull sugar hunter iced tea. You know what I'm saying? And shit ain't sweet. That's all I gotta say. Like, you messing with Trump, that's what I was saying about the difference between if we would have had Joe Biden with his prostate cancer, and then if we would have had Kamala. If we would not have had Trump, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, Trump can only win an election against women because he lost against Joe Biden, but he won against Hillary and he won against Kamala. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If Joe Biden would have been our president, as I said, we would have to be stuck with Kamala anyway, right? Kamala is not in a position as the first female president, or even as a Indian and Indian woman, Indian and black woman, to speak to countries like North Korea or China or Iraq or any of those countries, Israel, where they do not respect women or hold women to the same regard as a man. And it's unfortunate because we're Americans and we believe in equality, but those other countries do not believe in that. Had we not had Trump as a president, we'd be up shit's creek. I'm just saying, and I'm just putting that out there because it is the truth. We'd be in a bad position right now, real bad. Okay, your milk might be a little bit cheaper, but what you gonna do when all your buildings get bombed and then they come over here from them third world countries and start taking your houses and your shit over? Because that's what exactly was gonna happen. Like, I'm just saying, shit getting real bad. You know, she's not. Anyway, with that being said, because I can go on with that for days. A lot of people don't like Trump, but he don't put up with no bullshit, honey, iced tea. And you can't be mad at somebody for that. He does his job, and his main primary goal is to protect the border, and he does that, and he does that well. And also, I like for other countries to fear our country. I know that fear is not always the best, and sometimes you need to have the camaraderie and the friendships and the networking, but we need them to fear us. We need them to be like, oh shit, Trump is in charge, and he has a whole army full of people behind him, and that nigga crazy because he will press the button on the button. We need that. We need that. Trust me, we need it. Okay, with that being said, okay, 50 Cent is now making sure that Trump doesn't pardon Diddy. Now, Diddy is a piece of POS. He's a POS, okay? He's a piece of crap, okay? I don't like the guy. Never liked the guy. I didn't like him shimmying up in people's videos. I don't like all that. Can you back and let Mace do his video? Can you back up? Let Mace do his video so we can hear this song. You in the back, yeah, bad boy for life. Can you just go? We know. We get it. We know the label. Got it. Okay, back up. So anyway, Diddy seems like a fun guy on the outside, which is cool. I mean, he has his friends over, and imagine you put yourself in LeBron James, Jay-Z, Beyonce, people that he holds to some type of regard, okay? Because he know who, when, what, and where. Diddy knows who, when, why, and where. Diddy knows who. That's first and foremost. Because he ain't gonna try that shit with Beyonce. He definitely ain't gonna try it with Solange. Because Solange will go upside his head. She proved that in the elevator. Hey, Galatians. Okay. Diddy's not gonna try that with he might try it with the Kardashians. Yeah, because they ain't nothing but, yeah, well, he'll try it with them. But he ain't going to try that with the wrong people. Okay, we going to put it like that. He knows which one and who of these people to take advantage of. Like Cassie, like Capricorn Clark, like, you know what I'm saying, Don Wishart. These people that are not, that he doesn't hold in high regard and that he feels like he can wield some power over, he's going to do it. But imagine, you are Jay-Z if you're a man, and you are Beyonce if you're a woman. You're a married couple and you having so much fun, or you're LeBron James if you're a man and you are LeBron James' wife if you're a woman, okay? And y'all out and y'all having fun and y'all networking with y'all famous friends, and Diddy like, yeah, man, I'm having an all-white party, and you like, oh, hell yeah, we going, babe, we're going, we finna have a good time, we finna go have a good time, okay? You get there, you party it up, hey, and y'all partying, it get late, now it's late, and you're ready to go. So you leave. You don't know anything. Then you're none the wiser. The next thing you know, okay, after hours done started, and you getting sent videos of people with sliding on baby oil, doing the electric slide, all in lubrication, okay? And you like, damn, I didn't even know they was going to do all that when I left. But you found out, okay? You found out. Now you know your friend is a freak. But you just think he your fun friend. Because you just go over there to have your little fun. You take your butt home. Okay? But you know it's going down in between the sheets. Or the couch. Or the table and the floor. Okay? Whatever the case, you just having a good time. And then you find out this man is a complete freak. Okay? Now, mind you, Diddy has taken advantage of people. He's raped people without the R. He is wielding his power over people. I've heard about coercion. He plans on killing people. There's already a lot of rumors out there that he done did something to Biggie to for that situation to happen to Biggie Smalls, that he's done something that he had a hand in all there's so many things. There's so many things. So many things. There's a woman right now saying, this man, I'm telling y'all that Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Brother Love Combs shot me in my face. There is a woman that is on a public platform making it very clear, Diddy shot me in my face. She's not getting any justice. I don't understand it. But God sees all. God sees all, and I believe that that's why he's going through what he's going through right now. Okay, Shine, the rapper, who is now in the Belizean government, said that Diddy, he did 9 years in prison for Diddy, who turned around and didn't even support him while he was in there. Okay, because Diddy shot at someone and then let him take the rap for it. I mean, God sees that stuff. I don't know what he thought he was getting into. What he thought he was doing when it came to the type of person he was. I don't know why he didn't think that God was going to catch up with him. Karma, the universe. I mean, what goes around comes around. However you consider it, it caught back up with him. And so here he is. And so here we go. Okay, now you're going to fight for your life the way them people was fighting for their lives. Praise God that woman survived. Shout out to her too. So anyway, there was a situation where it was brought to Donald Trump's attention because he's pardoning people. And as you guys know, he just recently pardoned the Chrisleys, which I'm going to talk about at a later date. Actually, in the prison that I was in, the daughter it was either Jessica or Jennifer Chrisley. I never could get those two names. I always get those two names mixed up. But she came up to the prison I was in and would talk to the women and buy chicken and pizza and all that stuff. She was doing her part as an advocate for females in prison while her parents were in prison. And I got to commend her for that because we've met her face to face. She came and she did her thing and she talked to us and, she was doing her part. And I think that's beautiful for her because she related directly to it because her mother was put in prison, right? But Donald Trump has been pardoning people. He just pardoned the Chrisleys. And so it came to his attention about Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Brother Love Combs. And so he said he would look at the case and consider this pardon, okay?
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country.
You mentioned once in 2012.
Okay, so you guys just heard that. So Trump was answering a question about the possibilities of pardoning Diddy, and he said, me and Diddy used to be really good friends. But I haven't looked at the case. I'm sure people want me to look at the case. And he said, he would consider it, but he's been seeing some really nasty things that Diddy's been saying about him recently in the news. 50 Cent said he said some really bad things about Trump and it's not okay. I'm going to reach out to Trump so that he knows how I feel about this guy. Diddy diddled me. That is so funny, Infomania. Infomania said, Diddy diddled me. He diddled me too. Shit, I'm confused at his behavior. I cannot understand him to save my life. He needs real mental help. I'm so glad that when you go to prison, they force you to do mental evaluation stuff real quick. Like that's one of the first things they do. They force you to do mental evaluations so you can be classified on whether you need to go to the crazy pod or not. Ironically, since we're talking about 50 Cent, and the prison that I went to, the crazy pod was called G Unit. Believe it or not. All right. So, it says, see, Trump don't like this ish, buddy. You ran your mouth too much. And then it's saying how, I guess that was a response to him talking about how Trump heard Diddy talking bad about him. Okay, here's what Diddy said.
I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up. Trump gets elected. I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up.
All right, so here's the thing about that. Here's my response about that. First of all, okay, because I know this was about 50 Cent trolling Diddy. And I don't think 50 Cent is wrong for putting his opinions out there about Diddy. Diddy needs to be handled because he handled so many people wrong that, you need to be handled and you need to be humbled. That's first and foremost. However, I do know that a lot of people thought that when Trump got elected, there was going to be a race war. Here's the thing. People can say, oh, he's a racist and this, that, and the other. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. What I do agree with is that we are, as a country, we have an overhead. We are in debt. We are trillions of dollars in debt. We don't even have a ceiling on. We don't even have a roof no more. We don't even have a ceiling anymore. We are in debt. We cannot keep shoveling out money unnecessary money to certain people. That's why people started seeing drastic changes happen once Trump got in office. He's like, I'm sorry, love y'all, but you gotta go. Sorry, love you, but this wall is getting built. Sorry, love you, but if you're not doing your job in the government, you're fired. I'm sorry, I love you, but we can't do this anymore. We cannot pay for those things. Sorry, I love you, but you guys are not earning your keep. You're getting a handout. And for some, and mind you, certain things like the DEI, you know what I mean? I believe that certain people deserve handouts because of what we've been through as people. Don't get me wrong, because I'm still an African American woman and I understand what my ancestors have been through. But I myself have not been through that. And I think that that is his stance on it. Your ancestors went through something. You yourself have not gone through it. I think that's his stance on it. And so it's kind of like, well, you need to work a little bit hard for it. And, you can't really, people get lazy out here in the streets. You can't really blame them that much for taking that stance on it. People are lazy out here. People want handouts out here. You know how many men get with women just because they want to live in a house? They don't love them women. They don't love them women. They just want to live in their house. And it's like that. There's a lot of people that are like that. So you can't just consider yourself when you're dealing with this, when you're dealing with situations that have to do with the mass public. You see it your way because you're you. But when you're dealing with the mass public, you have to deal with the mass public. A lot of us don't have that burden, so we can't understand that. But anyway, back to 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not wrong for his stance with Diddy. Diddy is clearly wishy-washy and was supporting Trump at one point, and then started saying that he's going to create a race war, which I believe he just played himself out of a pardon if he was ever going to get one. Because one thing about Trump is he's going to watch social media. He's going to be on social media. He's going to be up on all the current events. And baby, you best believe he done seen that clip by now, okay? Trump ain't playing with this man. I don't think for 1 second he's going to pardon him. I'd be surprised, and I think the whole public would go crazy. Now, that would be the war that would be started, is if Trump pardoned Diddy. There would be a whole war that would be started over that, all the work that they doing to get this man and keep this man. I mean, they had one specific FBI agent assigned to Diddy, and that man did his damn job. He did his due diligence. Diddy thought he was flying from state to state, from Miami to LA to Chicago by himself, when you had a tail the whole time and people knew every move he was making. That man followed him around like a psychopath. And I'm just wondering, because y'all know how Homeland Security people, they put on all them little fake masks and noses, and they look like a real person. I'm like wondering, did they do that? Like, I want to see the inside. You know what I mean? How did that go? Type of stuff. But he played himself. I know 100%. If I know the president of the United States, if I know the POTUS, okay, he ain't messing with Diddy after he made that statement. Ain't no way. I know he heard that. I know he probably watching social media right now over there, watching what's trending and what's going on. And I do believe that Trump is the type of person that really does his homework. I think that he looks and researches, and he's really, really good with due diligence, and then also popular opinions. Don't nobody want to see Diddy come out of that jail. I know I don't. Not at this point. Not after everything that I heard. At first, I was like, dang, they really trying to get this man. But after all the evidence comes out, and then, all the Capricorn Clark's testimony really made it very clear that is a RICO. That I understand now better why he's being charged with RICO, and why he is probably going to go to prison for 20 years to life for RICO. Because Capricorn Clark's testimony, and with her being there, brings it all together. So with RICO, you have to prove that there's 2 acts that you've done, whether it be arson, kidnap, trafficking, prostitution, stuff like that. And Capricorn Clark's testimony, she pointed out that he kidnapped her at gunpoint from her home, forced her to drive to Kid Cudi's house, and then set Kid Cudi's car on fire. Just in that alone, that small piece alone, that's 2 crimes: kidnap and arson. That is a RICO. Period. And then it had to do with his business, and he used his security guard and her also as Cassie's stylist. It had to do with business. It's a RICO. He's done. There's no way that Diddy is getting out at all. Not this time. I don't see it. I don't see it. He would have to have super fans in that jury stand for him to get out at this point, because other than that, it makes no sense. There's no way. Okay. And the last thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about. Hold on, let me cut somebody out right quick. Just cussing somebody out. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about, sorry, did a lot of cussing just now in my text. You know what I'm saying? So the last thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about was Jonathan Joss. This is the actor for King of the Hill. I don't know if y'all recognize him from the side or not. He's a King of the Hill actor, baby. He done got shot and killed by his neighbor. Oh my goodness. And then his husband is saying that this was a hate crime. So real quick, it says Jonathan Joss, whose very career notably includes the role of King of the Hill and Parks and Recreation, has died. He was killed on Sunday due to a shooting in San Antonio, according to the police. The incident report that was shared with the Times says the officer responded Sunday evening to a shooting on the 200 block of Dorsey Drive, where they found Joss laid out in the roadway. It says that first responders tried to save his life, but he was pronounced dead at the scene at 59 years old. The police didn't close details as to the shooting or the alleged shooter. But Sigfrido Alvarez Ceja, who's 56 years old, was booked on Monday morning in suspicion of murder. His bond was $200,000. Okay, the Times couldn't reach a representative or the investigator, but the crime is being investigated. The actor's husband, Tristan Kern de Gonzalez, took to Facebook, and he said that he and Joss suffered open homophobic harassment and threats prior to shooting from this neighbor. He said it was motivated by homophobia and it was a hate crime. He said that he had returned Sunday to the site of the San Antonio home, which had been burned down in January, to check their mail. He also lost 3 dogs in that fire. The men discovered the skull of one of their dogs in its harness placed in clear view, and he began yelling and crying in response to the pain of what he saw. So he's basically alleging that the neighbor burned down their home and then now has shot Jonathan Joss, okay? A man approached them and started yelling homophobic slurs, and then he raised a gun from his lap and he fired. He said Joss pushed him out of the way, saving his life, and then added that his husband was murdered by someone who couldn't stand the sight of 2 men loving each other. The San Antonio police shared in a tweet on Monday evening that they shared a tweet that contradicted that it was a hate crime. The post did not explicitly name Gonzalez or mention his statement. They said currently the investigation has found no evidence to indicate that Mr. Joss's murder was related to his sexual orientation, that they handled these allegations very seriously, and that the shooter will be charged accordingly. Here's the thing though, okay, and this is Hank Hill's voice. This is the guy who plays Hank Hill, the main character, the father on King of the Hill, animated series on Fox. The police cannot, and I learned this in having my own case, okay? The police cannot, they cannot tell you the specifics of what exactly went on, specifically during their investigation, especially during their investigation, and especially if they do not have a person that is admitting what went on. If they don't have an admission, if they don't have a piece of paper, any kind of evidence that lets them know exactly what's going on, the most that they can do is take a wild swing at what they think is happening. If Jonathan Joss's husband said that this is a hate crime, that they suffered their home being burned down, that they lost 3 dogs in this fire, and they were getting homophobic slurs and rants from this person who shot and killed his husband, then how can the police come behind him and then say, oh, well, we don't have any evidence of that? Sweetie, then go get it. Then go get it. What reasoning would he have to lie about this man who is already booked for on suspicion of murder, to lie about him being homophobic? What is the reason that this man shot this man otherwise? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna leave off here. I appreciate you guys for joining me for this video. I think I'm gonna do this every night, or every night that I can, and then also I'm gonna continue my uploads. I'm very sad. I mean, I used to love me some King of the Hill, and it's just very unfortunate that the man who is the voice of Hank Hill has passed away for something so stupid. When is this gonna stop? When is it gonna stop? All right, thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you guys leave comments, like, and subscribe.